Hello again, everyone. Filet mignon here from Medium Rare Poetry, and today we're going to delve into my playlist, The Chronicles of Mania, to have a bit of a chat about DJT, who, being so full of himself, wants to have a military parade to celebrate his birthday on the 14th of June this year, 2025. So this sort of event could not go without having a poem written by me about him. So I hope you enjoy the Marmalade Parade. Marmalade Parade by Filet Mignon. He had a big opinion of his talents and his skills, helped by grovelling yes-men and a vast array of pills. So as he aged disgracefully, this royal stag charade decreed he was entitled to a birthday hit parade. Not just a shiny brass band and a horde of marching girls. This was to be the full-blown gig with military pearls. The branches of the forces that were roped into this thing were happy with the marching if they didn't have to sing. His birthday, on the Ides of June, had not a hint of doom. Nothing could go badly when the king was in the room. He rallied Doge to cough up the required 90 million to pay for his red carpet that was dyed a nice vermilion. The Army and the Air Force were conscripted for the job. The Navy had no ocean near to show off to the blob. They couldn't use the White House as the tanks would wreck the lawn. The ellipse seemed more appropriate to laud the great big horn. A platform was constructed for the feral fox and friends. It towered 47 feet to catch all cameras' lens. He'd never make it up the stairs, so burdened with his grift. To make the fearsome steep ascent, they'd need a cargo lift. It seemed to most absurd to celebrate the carrot codger, when history shows he was a spineless, cowardly draft dodger. His narcissism proved he didn't care for much of that, so long as he was central in his blood-red MAGA hat. His birthday was a Saturday, which should attract the crowds, but citizens were stony broke, and all their heads were bowed. They couldn't pay the entrance fee to swelter in the sun, nor could they pay due homage forced to kiss the orange bum. His acolytes attended, for they'd been covertly paid by prosperous Republicans. Now Trump had had them spayed. The props room in the White House then created mannequins to fill the empty spaces, fool the tyrant joker's grin. Concession stands were empty, with no patrons there on hand. The tariffs on the hot dogs saw their fortunes turn to sand. The ice cream sellers looked forlorn, their product wouldn't flow. The price of pig fat tripled, no more children's frozen glow. The Marmalade Parade commenced exactly at midday, the village people chanting why on earth his MCA. The happy birthday banners gave an element of cheer before the sombre forces closed their ranks with eyes austere. These marchers all looked fearsome, dressed in jungle green fatigues, not their smart dress uniforms, an air of weird intrigue. The weapons that they carried were replete with bayonets fixed. Their helmets and black goggles added guile into the mix. On Constitution Avenue they smartly made a halt. They cocked their big machine guns with a synchronizing jolt. Behind came heavy weapons of the proud and deaf artillery. Some say they were commissioned by arch-rival Madame Hillary. Next, the rocket launchers glided smoothly into place. Their warheads gleaming brightly put a smirk upon Trump's face. Finally, the tanks rolled up in clouds of diesel smoke. Their turrets swung towards the stage, saluting King of Coke. Time had come for Air Force to impress the orange creep. Despite the noise of pageantry, he'd nodded off to sleep. It started with a squadron of some stealthy unmanned drones, and next the Black Hawk choppers rattled Trump's arthritic bones. The fighters then came roaring, trailing patriotic streams, tricolours of the nation that they held in such esteem. Then bombers in formation of a Trump-inspired thumb, with Bombay doors wide open, had his minders struck quite dumb. The ellipse from 20,000 feet views like a neat bullseye, and smack bang in the middle was the pork they had to fry. The bomb that was released was not your famous bunker buster. It only had to penetrate a pumpkin and his cluster. The army was quite cross to see the Air Force got in first, so while the bomb was falling, they let go a mighty burst. All their lethal ammo was directed at the king. Grenades and missiles flying made an atmospheric zing. With pinpoint plan precision, the Trump Tower, its nickname, exploded into atoms with a burst of orange flame. Little was recovered in the gruesome aftermath. Silicone enhancements were the only epitaph. The big parade continued round the streets of freed DC, leaving one neat crater for all future kings to see. The word had spread, and crowds appeared to cheer the victory lap. A rebirth of the nation marked the end of all claptrap. The Ides of June became the country's greatest holiday. The threat of fascist governance would never have its way. And what could be the catalyst for this, the greatest coup? Don't ever piss the veterans by denying what's their due. Epilogue. The Navy was deflated, for they'd missed out on the fun. For after all, they were equipped with pretty awesome guns. They parked a missile cruiser just beyond the warm Bahamas to scare the Mar-a-Lago folks and soil their silk pajamas. Melania had packed her bags and donned a sly disguise when news had reached her villa that her spouse was vaporized. Her exit plan was in top gear, sweet freedom from her jailer. She whistled to the Navy boys, exclaiming, "Hello, sailor." Oh, if only the outcome could be that way, where the ellipse just turns into a crater, and that would be the best memorial one could ever hope for. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the poem. Bit of fun. Don't wish harm on anyone, of course. And this is for entertainment purposes only. And you have a wonderful day. Please like, share and subscribe this video. Tell your friends. And press the notification bell. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.